I got to tell you something, Jim. I'm very, very excited about this. I have given a lot of thought to one thing in particular that I must discuss with you, and that is the prophecy of Bilam towards the end, right? And he sees it's not going, and he gives a prophecy which is universally recognized as a messianic prophecy, universally recognized as talking about Mashiach, clearly a messianic prophecy, right? And what is that? In Numbers 24, verse 17, and we spoke about this just a little bit last week. He says in this verse, in verse 17, he says, I shall see him, but not now. I shall look at him, but it is not near. A star has issued from Jacob, and a scepter bearer has risen from Israel, and he shall pierce the nobles of Moab and undermine the children of Seth. So this is universally understood to be a prophecy about Mashiach, he's referring to here as a star rising from Jacob, shooting from Jacob, and a scepter bearer from Israel. And the idea of destroying the nobles of Moab and undermining the children of Seth, which is basically all of humanity, is that he will pursue justice and he will settle scores, as it were, with all the nations, right? So last week we discussed the phenomena a little bit. Why, of all people, why was Bilam the first one recorded in Scripture to mention Mashiach? Because this is a really, really interesting conundrum, because the concept of Mashiach is very much cryptic. It's very much kind of hidden over in the Tanakh. And Bilam, in this prophecy, this is universally again recognized as being the first time that someone is actually mentioning this idea. So last week we talked a little bit about why that is, and I emphasized the idea that the Torah doesn't focus on Mashiach simply because it's not the Torah's priority, because our priority is supposed to be serving God in this world no matter what. Not focusing on the end game, not focusing on reward, but understanding that we're doing Hashem's will to make ourselves into better people, to the world into a better place. And that's why the emphasis is not on Mashiach. And it took someone like Bilam to bring it up. But there's another reason, which I want to take this opportunity to mention. And this is not even where I'm going, but this is such an important sidebar, so I'm going to bring it up now. But please don't touch the dial, because I have some very important things to say today. But another reason why Mashiach is not emphasized so much in the Torah is because he's not Hashem. Hello, only God is God. And then we have these. This is such a misunderstanding that people have, because we have completely different ideas about who Mashiach is than, for example, Christianity, because only Hashem saves. First of all, this whole idea about being saved. You'll never find a Jew who says, am I saved? Are you saved? Because there's no such thing in our vernacular, because what does that even mean? Because, and what I really find most distasteful about it is that it seems to be implying that the default is that you're damned. And so therefore, you have to be saved. But here's the thing. There are so many verses that we find in the Torah that tell us very clearly that Hashem is the only Savior. Isaiah 12, God is my salvation. Isaiah 25:9, Isaiah 11. It's all about how only God is our salvation. But then, for example, in Isaiah 43, the prophet begins by saying, and now thus says Hashem, O Creator, your Creator, O Jacob, the one who fashioned you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. And he goes on and on. But then, what does he say, Jim? Maybe it's one of the most important verses in this whole book regarding this concept that needs to be understood, is Isaiah says in chapter 43 and verse 11, and I'm not making this up, right? Only I am Hashem, and there is no deliverer aside from me. I have foretold and brought salvation and informed you there was no strange God in your midst. And he goes on and on. Verse 14, thus said Hashem, your Redeemer. All these verses point to the fact that only Hashem redeems, only Hashem, as it were, saves. And so that's just, I think, something that needs to be always said, and we need to remind ourselves of, because this is the source of so much consternation and misunderstanding, and people don't understand, why aren't we obsessed with Mashiach, with what his name is and everything else? It's because it's not relevant to my relationship with Hashem. He's not Hashem. He's not God. He's not a part of God any more than any other person is.